What a huge week from the. Can we call them the Three Kings? Can we replace the old Three Kings with the new Three Kings?
Well, they were 4 kings, though.
Yeah, but these 3 are better than the 4.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement.
The 3 being David Jones, Jahvon Quinerly, and Caleb Mills. I mean, the last week at VCU. And by the way, how many sold-out arenas are we going to play in on the road?
When you're everybody's Super Bowl,
Ole
kinda,
Miss,
it's like
VCU, A&M was damn close. I don't know if it was an official sellout, but they had a lot of people up in there. And we were just going the Dominican. Every away arena we go into, we are the Super Bowl for that program.
I hate.
There's going to be a packed 1,100 people down there in the Burroughs Nest of FAU, Boca. They should have an outdoor basketball court down there in Boca. Dude, speaking of 74 and sunny, we should have saved this for the FAU matchup.
You think it's 1,100?
We've looked. It's more. It's like 20.
It's 27. 20. It's like 200 more than El Marone.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's like 100 more than White Station High School.
Good grief.
Did y'all see the Field of 68 tournament from there?
No, I don't watch trash.
Yeah, I don't participate.
They did a Field of 68 tournament down there.
I bet they did.
And so obviously they were showing, like, Jeff Goodwin was showing all these, this place used to be dead and now look at it. And it was like these ridiculous shots.
Now there's several hundred more people in the arena.
And I'm like, man, I sent it to somebody and I was like, this is the power of the camera. All you got to do is find a good angle and it can make a 100-person student section look like an army of people. It was it was wild.
Yeah, that 2,900. That's gross. Huge week, though. The Three Kings, through these last 2 games on the road, both in raucous arenas, they've combined, do you know how many points they've combined for?
I don't remember the number. You actually talked about.
I know. I told you.
Very briefly. I don't remember the number. I do remember it being staggering.
Timothy's memory was 126 combined points in the last 2 matchups. That's 63 a ball game between the 3 of those fellas. David Jones leading the way. He was American Conference Player of the Week, averaging 26, 7.5 rebounds, and 3 steals in 2 road games. Dropped 23 on VCU with 8 boards, and then dropped 29 yesterday in College Station. Second to that is our boy JQ, who averaged 22, 5.5, I think.
You're looking it up?
Yeah, I just had it. 22 points this week in 2 road games with 24 at A&M and 20 the 3 nights before at VCU. 5.5 assists and 4 rebounds this week. And then Caleb, who didn't, not massive games, but 3rd leading scorer in all of these. 17 on Wednesday at VCU, and then 13 yesterday at A&M. And in both of those, he's 4 of 5 in threes. Wow. Shooting 80% from 3 in those 2 games, hitting clutch threes in both, especially in A&M down the stretch in VCU. So those 3 guys just, if they keep that up, we're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, what are we talking about? And I like that, it's kind of funny. Preseason, I talked about, I kind of wanted David Jones to be the guy that comes off the bench because you just have that pure offensive firepower. Why give me that smirk?
Keep going.
And it seems like Caleb Mills is taking
Not only did TJ not think that David Jones was even remotely possible to be considered a potential candidate. We're not saying bona fide player of the year, which he will be now. TJ didn't think he was a potential candidate to be listed on the ballot
I've
for
been trying
American
to get
Conference Player of the Year. He also wanted him to be coming off of the bench.
I didn't
think the man should be a starter.
Incorrect. I didn't think he
Does coming off the bench mean that you start?
That's not what I was saying, and you know it. I said I would rather him come off the bench because of how good he is offensively. You get a pure bench scorer, someone coming off the bench. They can relieve someone, and you're not going to miss out anything. If he comes off the bench, you can completely rely on him. Was what
Well,
I
I think
said.
they figured it out, and sources say it was Caleb's idea himself to come off the bench.
Yeah, I saw that, and I like that. I mean, I think it kind of fits what he does well. I mean,
I think so too.
yeah, it's a good idea.
Seems like he's getting a feel for the flow of the game. He feels a little bit more comfortable, although he did start out a little bit slow yesterday. But ended up fine, 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3-point range, 3 of 4, 3 boards, a steal, an assist, all in 23 minutes.
But I do think that with Caleb, he brings more than just like the bench bucket, right? Like I think that you can absolutely bring him in just to lock somebody down.
I mean, he's
a big man, a wing, it doesn't matter.
Right. He said himself he has taken a focus off of scoring
Sure.
in order to prioritize defense.
Yeah. I mean, I think in a way that could help his draft stock at the same time. Just because anyone can just score. Like we've seen tons of dudes that can just score. What was the little guy from? He was like seriously 5'6" from UMBC or whoever that was. Like, dude just lit it up. Like he scored nonstop.
Yeah.
Obviously had no chance of getting an NBA. Well, Mills, I mean, there's possibility there, and especially if he can defend at a high level while also being that 3-and-D type of guy at a 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" type of frame. I mean, it adds to it, man. There's a lot of potential there with him.
Yeah.
If that is what he wants to do.
But he's also got the ability to be more than just 3-and-D. He can create. He's smooth with the basketball, create his own shot, finish around the rim. David Jones yesterday.
It's funny, too, because, like...
Just wild.
What was it? I think it was the VCU game. You couldn't hit a three to save his life. I think he may have been 2 of 10. I'm making up a number. It was something like that. It was absurd.
I think he was 1 of 8 or something.
1 of 8, whatever.
1 of 7.
1 of 7, whatever the number was.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and has that game. It's like
5 of 9, couldn't miss.
What are we talking about? Like how?
Couldn't miss.
Such an up and down.
He's just a hooper, TJ.
He is just a hooper. I'm not taking that
All
away
it takes is one. The first one go in and he's on.
Like,
I mean, that was very reminiscent of the Arkansas game.
Sure. It's very.
I mean, how many more of those David Jones games are we going to see this year? Where he just comes out and from the get-go, it's his night.
Well, let me ask you this, because I was thinking about it yesterday. Are we going to find that David Jones is better for the team than Kendrick was?
Define better.
Well, I know. I put air quotes on it because it's kind of a loose question, right? Like a better, kind of a poor way of wording it. But, like, is David Jones going to win you more games than Kendrick did?
I'll say yeah.
I think that's fair. I really do. I think that he has the potential of being better.
He's also doing it with
than
a better team. I mean, he's got better people. I mean, Kendrick was doing it with lesser talent around him, and he had to do it outside of having DeAndre.
Which I guess, in a sense, we're getting off topic here. Kind of.
I mean, also, let's be honest. Kendrick didn't shoot. I mean, did Kendrick even come close to a 5 for 9 from 3 game last year? I mean, he had a
couple heaters, but I mean, I don't think anything like that.
Yeah.
And David's done that to an extent a couple of times already. So I don't know. I think it's a good conversation to bring up in the Discord. It's just the question of how you bring about the conversation. Like, is David Jones potentially going to be better for the team than Kendrick was? More helpful, more beneficial. I don't know how to word it, but you get my general idea.
I mean, I think it's hard to really say that, but David Jones is having a true, it feels, shall I say, All-American-ish type year so far. Is that
tough.
Is that a premature All-American?
That's just tough. I mean, think about like CDR.
I know.
Is he CDR?
He feels like it a little bit.
Because that's what you have to compare him to. Because
legitimately, when's the last time we had somebody who was scoring like this? I think for the year, he's averaging over 20 points a game. And rebounding the ball.
Yeah, I mean, here.
The thing is, it is evident. Given you, I know you have Quinerly, you've got Mills. We've mentioned you've still got Jaquan Walton. Like you've got other dudes, but I think it is, bar none, David Jones is your go-to guy.
Yeah,
which makes it all more criminal. And I hate to go back to this, that he did not get a shot in the last
Exactly
6
where you're going
minutes
with
of
that.
the Ole Miss. It is, I mean, given
is
what has
ridiculous.
happened, what has transpired since that game in the last 2 games,
Yeah.
I mean, it should be you should be in prison for not having allowed David Jones to get a shot.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
If he even I'll say it, if he even got 2 shots, we probably win the game. That's the difference.
Yeah, I mean,
Granted, he didn't have a great 3-point shooting night against Ole Miss. I think he was 2 of 8. But he was still, I mean,
well,
he's
someone
a
said that
scorer.
he was like checked out of that game. I'm like, he just had a block, and I think he had a rebound and a block within like the last 3 minutes
I
or
don't think
something
he was
like
checked
that.
out.
No, I got no vibe that he was checked out. He just wasn't getting the damn ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the issue. And I think you
I
have to
hate
give
to
the
go
ball.
back. We should beating
You should
A&M
not have lost that game.
yesterday just even reemphasizes that Ole Miss game was so winnable.
Well-
like we should legitimately be sitting here 8-1 with our only loss being just a skunker because we had a bad first half against Villanova. And that's it. You played one bad half of basketball and it cost you a game. That's where we should be.
Yeah, and it's interesting that we have played the 2 losses have been against teams that have just been ridiculously hot from 3.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think Memphis played. Here we're going back to Ole Miss game. I don't think they played a bad game versus Ole Miss by any means. I don't think it was that bad. I just think Ole Miss couldn't miss, and that was inevitably the issue, right?
Yeah.
Is they just couldn't miss.
I mean, that is definitely the thing that stuck out from that game is their inability to miss, and we were putrid from 3. I think shot 16%. If